What's going on, y'all? Thank you so much for being here. There's hella shit to talk about. I don't know where to start. Today, I'm just going to be focusing on the middle class and how this year of 2025 can really shift the way things are for people, such as we are going to face economic hardship, we already knew that our economy is fucked up, but with everything that's going on with these tariffs, these tariffs are kind of backfiring.
Wrong.
So Trump has been doing tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. So what happened with Canada? Canada came back and said that, oh, y'all gonna put tariffs on us, we're gonna put tariffs on y'all. And it literally would be so bad because we are going to lose access to plastic, metals, orange juice. They said beer, but I don't drink, so you know what I'm saying, I ain't really tripping.
Speak for yourself.
And so many other things that are so crucial, like the main necessities to keep, people happy, you feel me? There's so many things that we rely on other countries to give us, you know what I'm saying? We are starting so many issues with our allies, you know what I'm saying? Allies that help keep, us afloat. However, there are some discrepancies with these allies. There are a lot of things that they are doing that, Trump don't like, so.
You can tell them to go
subscribe to my YouTube channel.
It's a very dog-eat-dog world. There's so much shit going on, but also with China. Trump threatened China, saying that we need reparations for what you guys caused us during COVID. And also these tariffs that they put on China pretty much responded, was like, all right, we're gonna respond back. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some retaliation. So, and just with everything that's been going on with all the plane crashes, I don't know if you guys heard, but the cartel right now are battling border control. They are sending drones, they are shooting back.
How else can I prevail against so many enemies?
I don't know. This year is going to make us or break us. The bubble's going to pop, all that good shit. So hopefully it doesn't get that bad, but I don't know. So let's dive into what I'm gonna talk about. So as we head into this new year, there are growing concerns that the pressures of trade wars, inflation, and a shifting global economy might push more Americans from the middle class into poverty. In recent years, we've seen record inflation with prices soaring for essentials like food, housing, and healthcare. Housing and healthcare are so crucial. I just don't understand how Americans such as us, or Americans who have been putting in so much work, you know what I'm saying, that have been working for their jobs for 30, 40 plus years, and they still don't have medical insurance. They still don't have a freaking house. So it's just with all the billions and trillions of dollars that America gives to Israel, we could fix our own issues.
What we need to invest in is a power washer.
This trend, paired with stagnant wages, has already stretched many American households to their breaking point. And while the pandemic's economic fallout was a key factor, the ripple effects are far from over. And again, with all these tariffs that Donald Trump is putting on China, Canada, and Mexico, it's causing so much inflation. People don't understand that these tariffs is just a way to sugarcoat to not let people know that we are screwed. What we are witnessing right now is a trade war. This is a bad sign.
Very bad. Very, very, very bad. Bad.
Trump's tariffs, although intended to bring back manufacturing jobs back to the United States, have led to higher costs for both consumers and businesses. So I want you guys to really think about this. These tariffs, in my opinion, are mostly going to affect people who have small businesses, people who are literally trying to get out of poverty, you feel me? So again, that's why I feel with everything going on, it's an attack on the middle class. They are trying to break the wealth of America. That's just my opinion. They don't want people to have their own wealth. They don't want people to think on their own, to have flourishing businesses that can literally compete with other businesses that might put them out of business, you feel me? All of it is a competition. So I feel Trump, being a businessman, he really, I don't know, he says that he really wants to help America with all these jobs, but these tariffs are literally gonna put so many people out of shop. And I don't understand how people don't really understand that.
The American dream is dead.
Millions of Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck. From middle management workers to small business owners, many are facing tough choices, whether to pay their rent or buy groceries. The growing debt burden combined with the uncertain job market is leaving more people vulnerable to falling below the poverty line. And despite efforts by some to improve their situation, the reality is that many Americans could be facing an uphill battle this year, 2025. The once solid middle class is now precariously positioned, and for many, climbing out of poverty may seem harder than ever before. I want to say this, it's really interesting because we feel with America being America, like the leader of the free world and whatnot, we would assume that as years go by, situations will get better. You know, generations will have it better off than what their previous generation had it. You feel me? Like our families came here, most of our families came here from another country seeking the American dream, and they put in so much hard work thinking that, you know, it will get easier as time goes by, that their kids will have more opportunities than they had. But no, it's literally tables are turning. Like we're going back in time and people are literally not able to support their families. Imagine being young and trying to support your parents, but you can't. Like you're literally living off them because it's just so fucked up. You feel me?
Watch your mouth.
Before I put this podcast one in, there is a video that I want to watch with you guys. It's very, very interesting. It pretty much kind of talks about the enslavement of the middle class. So it's about 5 minutes long. I'm gonna try to like skim through this as fast as possible. I truly feel that this is eye-opening, very eye-opening.
So you run a country and you have a problem. Every few years, you have to get re-elected. And what is the #1 way to get fired by voters? If the economy is doing bad. Because a bad economy equals people struggling to pay rent and buy food and stuff. Heck, even if you run a dictatorship, if the people are suffering too much, eventually you're gonna get overthrown. So that's why your #1 priority as a noble leader is growth. Economic growth. Why? Because if your country makes more money, there's less unemployment, the plebs are at least content with the status quo, you get more tax dollars, more weapons, more nukes, more leverage over other countries, and ultimately, more power. Why do you think growth is the only thing they talk about on the Federal Reserve, on CNBC, on the White House podium? Why do you think they're so scared of an economic slowdown? It's because America is mostly run by a bunch of people who might get fired every few years by voters. And creating growth lets you keep your power and gain more of it.
So again, it's always a fight over power. It's a competition, and this has so much to do with what we're seeing today with China and all these other countries that are literally fighting to be the new leader of the free world. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Trump pretty much pulled out of the World Health Organization, and that is a major red flag.
Big red flag.
Like, it's so important that I actually have to read this to you guys. So let's get to this article right quick. So what is the World Health Organization and why does Trump want to leave it? In a statement Tuesday, the organization said it regretted the United States decision, noting that it had over the past 7 years implemented the largest set of reforms in its history to transform our accountability, cost effectiveness, and impact in countries. The U.S. withdrawal is the most momentous of all executive orders signed Monday, said Lawrence Gostin, a public health law professor at Georgetown University, warning it could be sowing the seeds for the next pandemic. Here's how Trump's decision would affect the World Health Organization and global health more widely. So what does the World Health Organization do? WHO was one of the several global institutions that emerged from the wreckage of World War II. After the world was torn apart by nationalism and conflict, countries agreed to sacrifice some aspects of their sovereignty for the common good. The agency was founded in 1948 in an attempt to protect the world's health. Its constitution, signed by all UN members at the time, warned that unequal development in the health systems of different countries has a common danger. The organization's objective is the attainment by all peoples of the highest possible level of health. I'm not going to keep going, but this shows you guys how this is not just some corporation that we give, you know, our money to. It's more a constitution that we signed after world wars that we are going to do our best to make sure that we keep the world healthy. And for Trump to pull out of that, I don't know. It makes me raise a lot of eyebrows, but it also kind of proves to me that he is being controlled by Zionists. Because, let me explain, some people are gonna be like, bro, you keep blaming Zionists, but I don't know. I'm not gonna get too much into it because I don't want this video to get freaking hit with misinformation and stuff like that. There's so many things I want to say, but I can't say. But all I know is that this is the United States of Israel. I don't care what nobody say. We are living in a new Zionist movement here in America.
I'm not anti-Semitic.
And creating growth lets you keep your power and gain more of it. But here's the thing, the only way you're gonna get more economic growth is if you have a giant segment of your population that hates their lives. What do I mean by that? Well, just think about what it takes for a giant country like the US to grow at 2% a year. If your economy is gonna grow at 2% a year indefinitely, someone's gonna flip the hamburgers, build the roads, construct the buildings, clean the sewers, do the bookkeeping, mop the floors, deliver the food, operate the buses, and a bunch of other tasks that are very vital, but also very miserable to do. In other words, you need a bunch of people who, no matter how much they hate their lives, no matter how resentful and bitter they are about giving up on their dreams, you still need them to get up every day and just take it. Take it for the good of the country.
Honestly, kind of not saying woke me up, but that kind of triggers something in my mind to know that the way this society is built in a way for us not to chase our dreams, so we can literally be stuck pursuing someone else's dream. You know, they need people to hate their lives, to keep their bills paid, to keep their families fed. That's why I always emphasize chasing your dreams. Like, I know it's cliche, we always say that, but fuck chasing your dreams, manifest it. Because if you do not manifest it, you are going to be a slave to the system in which enslaves you repeatedly, and they will literally make it seem like you have freedoms, but you really don't. We literally have invisible chains on us mentally, physically, emotionally, because we are so tied up to our jobs in which we give our precious time, our energy, all for a small paycheck. You feel me? While they are making way more, they are profiting way more, and you're just literally watching your life kind of just dissolve. You feel me? At the same time, we have to do that. We have to go through that struggle to realize that we can get out of our situation. The most powerful tool is being disgusted. Yes, that is a very powerful tool, because if you are disgusted with your current situation, or disgusted of your habits that are literally just taking you away from what makes you, you know what I mean? That's when change happens. So yeah, people who are literally waking up to a job they hate, they have to use that anger and that, again, that disgusting feeling, and really transfer all that into momentum to becoming your own self-made millionaire, billionaire, whatever. Like, whatever you want, you can pursue it, but you just have to know that you are in a matrix, and once you get out of that, there's no going back. You feel me? Once your mind is awakened, I don't know, I just feel like you only go up from there.
The person who gives up, that's our favorite kind of person. That's inside the United States. Everybody loves the person who gives up, because the person who gives up just pays a little extra money to have somebody else fix the problem. The person who gives up pays their taxes on time and at the maximum rate. The person who gives up just follows the rule of law and crosses at the crosswalk. The person who gives up is the person that everybody gets to walk on, and we raise people to get walked on. Public school raises you to be walked on. We live in a culture that's literally propagating the idea that to be a good citizen, you have to shut up and take it.
Because if the masses don't do that, there is nothing. If everyone today who works a miserable job isn't motivated to wake up tomorrow to do your plumbing, pick up your trash, make sure the streetlights are working, everything goes to hell.
Any type of program in prison, they're educating you to go work at Walmart.
Yeah.
Just like public school, they're educating you to go a lower middle class or middle class job. Like, that's really what high school is. Hey, by the time you're done with high school, you are educated to be lower middle class. You know what I'm saying? Like, still middle class, but not on the high end. So that's what they want, because they need that massive tax base to follow the rules and pay in everything. And, and as horrible as this might sound, God bless them.
It's critical.
It's critical. Absolutely. We would fail as a country without them.
In fact, this is the only difference between a first world country and a third world country. Putting aside the corruption we cover on this channel, the only difference between a first world country and a third world country is some dude waking up and deciding to pick up your trash. The trash man has no real motivation to pick up your trash, so how do you motivate him? Well, back in the day, you'd motivate people by making them indentured servants. They would owe you money, so they would have to work on your fields to pay it off. Or
I'm just about to let you guys know that he's about to go so deep right now. So I just want to say, with these last 2 minutes that we're going to watch, I definitely think y'all should tap in. Like, if you're not tapped in right now, definitely tap in. This is going to show you guys some shit that shows you that this system that we are seeing today is a system that has been in the making for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Or else they would go to prison. But those days are over. And even if you could still get away with that, it's not very efficient. If a pleb feels subjugated, they will resent you. They won't work as hard. They'll dig their heels into the ground and eventually it will backfire. So there lies the multi-trillion-dollar question of every nation state. How do you convince your population to want to be cogs in the wheel? To feel the need to sacrifice their working lives for the good of the country without using force? Simple. You stack the cards against them so much that they feel like they always have to work. You give them just enough freedom to feel free, but not enough to where they'll actually break free. You pay them just enough so they can live paycheck to paycheck, but not enough to where they'll ever become financially free. And when they do manage to save up a meager savings, you convince them to get into debt. The key here is the perception of free will.
The perception of free will is what keeps us bounded by the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? That's what's keeping us, I don't know, chained. You feel me? Is that perception of free will. Us thinking that we have freedom because we get a paycheck. You feel me? That just because we have enough food in our refrigerator means that we're thriving. You feel me? So it's just like this perception of free will is also a tactic that is used to brainwash the masses to thinking that they're not enslaved.
Tell someone they have to do something and they'll feel bossed around. But if you set up society in a way where they come to that conclusion themselves, well then you have an obedient, willing cog in the machine. And if there's one thing America has perfected more than any other country, it's that America has created a well-oiled nation of cogs. But not just any cogs, willing cogs. Willing cogs where no matter how much they hate their jobs, no matter how much they hate their lives, they will always get up in the morning and pick up your trash. They will always shut up and take it. See, American supremacy is not built on weapons, warships, or even nukes. At the heart of it all, it's built off the collective backs of the middle-class cogs. See, the politicians are right. The middle class is the backbone of society. They're the ones that do all the grunt work. They're the ones that fund the bailouts, that fund the wars. They're the ones that built America into the greatest superpower the world has ever seen. And it's very clear when you compare America to Europe. In Europe, you have free healthcare, people feel taken care of, so people don't feel the need to work to live, which is why Europe stagnates while America reigns supreme. But here's the thing, this game that we're playing is a very delicate balancing act. Give the peasants too much money and eventually they'll save enough to break free. But give them too little money or make them suffer too much, then your hardworking middle class would just give up. Think about yourself, if your salary couldn't buy you a loaf of bread tomorrow, would you still wake up and go back to work? Of course not. And boom, everything falls apart. So the key is giving them just enough to keep their heads above water, but not too little or too much to where they stop caring. And take a guess which direction the US is headed in. That's right, America's interest payments alone on its debt has reached $1 trillion a year.
Damn.
Which means this can only end one of two ways. Either we somehow reduce spending, which Trump is promising, but if history is correct, the debt has only gone up under him, Biden, and Obama, or the government will just tax us more or print more money. Either way, guess who is gonna get squeezed? The poor don't have any money to take. The rich are just gonna take their money and leave. So all that's left is the good old patriotic middle class.
Damn.
And if the middle class, the backbone of America, goes down, then America goes down. And if America goes down, since every other country is tied to America and the dollar, the entire world will be pulled down with us.
Definitely feel like I should finish this video. It's about 40 more minutes. I'm gonna leave it inside of the description on the YouTube video. So if you guys want to finish it, I definitely would recommend you guys finishing it because he goes into so much detail on how this matrix is constructed. And once you know the blueprint of something, I feel like you're able to find your way out because you just understand how the games are played. You know what I mean? So just really interesting. I just feel like with everything that's going on right now in 2025, or just everything that has been going on the past couple of years, it is a battle upon the middle class, because the middle class, like he said, is what pretty much keeps everything afloat. These are the people who are going to get up, pick up your trash, pick up the vegetables off the ground. You feel me? With the whole thing with immigration saying that like, oh, deporting millions and millions of immigrants are going to make America so much better, as if we're blaming everything that's going on in America on immigrants when it should be pointed at the Zionists. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep blaming Zionists because they are the ones who are literally reconstructing everything that shouldn't be reconstructed. Like, they are trying to break bonds. They are trying to ruin relationships between our allies. You know what I mean? So it's just like, Who knows if what I'm saying is the truth? That's just my opinion, everything that I have been observing with my eyes from the past couple of years. But we are seeing the tables turn. We are seeing a new America. Like everything that we thought America was, I feel like won't ever be that again.